The question is this. The question is, what about the next black swan? Where is the next black swan going to come from? What is a black swan? The black swan is an event. The black swan is an event that could potentially get us into big trouble. Okay. So, what are we looking about? Well, at this point, what I would like to talk about is you have three things going on at the same time here. The first one, you've got the whole Trump show. What do I mean by that? Well, you've got Trump out there making deals with everyone. Um, he's not making policy, he's making deals. And it's working so far. What I mean by working is that he's going to be able to impose the tariffs. It looks like they have some sort of a situation and deals happening with Ukraine and Russia. We'll see. We'll see. He's more or less got away, right, with Europe, and we'll talk about that. But what I want to talk to you about later on is what do I think is going to happen here? How all these things are going to fit together? So stay with me for a while here. So basically, with Trump, he's making deals, and it seems to be working. Who is he making deals with? He's making deals with Russia. He's making deals with Ukraine. He's making kind of deals with the tariffs and Canada and Mexico. But deals tend to be short in nature. We need to make policy, no? We'll see. Now, the other issue that we're having is Europe. My view is that Europe is basically disintegrating. They're disintegrating. I mean, you could see the buffoonery of these European leaders like France and England, coming to the U.S. Obviously, it's too late. They didn't do anything for years, and now they're going to do something, and now they're going to react, and now they feel that they got to catch up. Now they're going to start spending money on. Listen, Russia won that war against Ukraine, and they're not about to give back the territory. They're going to keep what they have. They're going to stop. Ukraine is going to be happy to make some sort of a mining deal with the U.S. in order to keep the U.S. involved, in the middle of the squabble, so there's no more any more fighting. The U.S. is not going to send soldiers over there. That's not going to happen. Is Europe going to send its soldiers? I don't know. France said yes, and they said no. The UK said yes. We shall see. But there's no Europe, right? They didn't do anything for 3 years, so unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's too late. Now, does this impact the U.S.? Well, no. I mean, the Europe is going to spend more money on its own security. Once they start doing that, then they're better off on their own. What do they need to be part of the European Union, right? So that's not going to happen. The issue that you have to worry about is that if the European Union has and this is where Trump making deals versus policy becomes important, right? You're making a deal and you're saying, you know what? I don't want to spend any more money to protect you. You spend your own money. Okay, we'll do that. And that's what they do. Now, of course, what's going to end up happening is once they have their own armies, do they really need to be with each other? They can't even agree on commerce. How are they going to agree with the army? So they're going to split. So Europe is going to split. Now, unfortunately, when that happens, with the U.S., you might be losing a good customer here. They may decide to go to Russia. They may decide to be with Chinese. I mean, the individual countries within the European Union. There was a very important United Nations resolution which Europe did not agree to, which is basically the invasion and recently. So that didn't work out too well for the European because they basically said, okay, I guess, you know what, it wasn't an aggression. Basically, it's a sign off on what Trump is doing with Russia. So what is it going to end up happening? Well, essentially, you have Europe dissolving. That's going to be a major impact. You've got Trump making policies, not making policies, but making deals. Short term, it's okay. He made a lot of deals with the casinos, as you may or may not remember. And where are they now? They're all gone. That's very worrisome. And then, of course, you have the stock market. What is going on there? Do we have growth? That's great. That means we have inflation. Oops. But at the same time, it would appear that, especially when you look at what happened with Walmart, when you look at some of the latest claims that were higher, it seems that we may have heading into a slowdown in terms of jobs. And could we have a stagflation where we have inflation out of control and then we have the economy slowing down? So you got all these things happening at the same time. And of course, overarching the entire process, you have the national debt, which is $37 trillion. And Trump, that is making deals, basically wants to save money, offering $5 million to become a U.S. citizen, basically. And he figures if I get 100 of these people to want to come to the U.S., that's 5 million times 100. That's 500 million. And if I get 1,000, that's $5 trillion. So I could basically pay off my debt by bringing these people over, spending 5 million. I don't know. I mean, this sounds like, wow, okay, that's simple. You're making deals here. You need to make policy long term. You need to think long term. And right now, you're making deals. Are you that strong? Remember, we thought that Russia was not going to do well. We thought that Russia was going to fold. They're winning that war with 200 and something thousand soldiers. Europe is nowhere near ready to fight Russia. Not that Russia wants to invade Europe, because that's what you hear, that the French president say, oh, if you don't stop them there, they're going to come to. They're not going to do that. And even if they were to do that, do you think France is going to do anything? They can't. They don't. They have, at most, Europe has 80,000 soldiers. So it's impossible to fight Russia. Okay, of course, you say, well, at least the U.S. is going to be there. Well, okay, I mean, Russia's been fighting that war for a while there with lots and lots of soldiers. Okay, the U.S. hasn't fought a big war like that in a while. Now, of course, we say, well, we have the atomic bomb. So, well, let's see if for some reason, whatever it is, Europe were to get invaded, will they in fact use the atomic bomb? I don't think so. So, not that Russia wants to invade, but that's because there's a lot of documents out there, a lot of people talking, a lot of ideas that are being pushed through the media in order to confuse or to scare people. I mean, don't forget. I mean, we were giving the U.S. is giving so USAID, tens of millions of dollars to outlets, media outlets, to do what? What ideas are you pushing? Because when you open the newspaper and you want to listen to what's happening, you listen to what people are telling you, and then you kind of make up your mind from based on what you hear. Is this journalism, or is this selling you ideas about certain views, right? And that's very prevalent in Europe, and this is what J.D. Vance was talking about. In France, they just closed a radio station, a TV station, and not because they weren't making any money, just because they didn't like what they were saying. So be careful out there. And the U.S. were on its way as well, that you can't say this, you can't say that. It becomes a bit difficult to manage. So the point is that I don't know if it's a golden age that Trump is talking about, but maybe a new age coming up. So let's be very, very careful about that, because that is potentially a black swan